Yo, America's top official in charge of protecting our home, our borders, our entire nation's borders, and protecting our country from outside threats somehow went without protection as she traveled through our nation's capital city, D.C. Despite the Secret Service security detail, which is supposed to watch over her 24 hours a day, Noem was robbed in broad daylight in front of her security. And despite the millions of cameras that surround D.C., the and the Secret Service, I might add again, the culprit somehow robbed her and then escaped into the sunlight. It's a mystery. It's kind of like Hunter Biden's laptop. YouTube, there's been a lot of 007 espionage happening right within our politics, and it's happening right in front of our eyes. And they think that we're just too naive to understand what's going on. The entire Avengers cabinet, that is Trump's administration, daily are at odds with the most powerful and largest terror group ever, the Democrats. They have been sponsoring armies, overturning governments, destroying economies in foreign countries, all while simultaneously spreading homosexuality across the globe. And Trumpito's Avengers are the face of the forces of their opposition. And not only that, the Trump admin Avengers, like Noam, regularly visit prisons in El Salvador. Like, okay, look, no, she just visited a prison in El Salvador where she chastised these prisoners right to their face for illegally coming into our country with malice and trying to break the law. How is it possible that these politicians aren't safe in DC? It's actually not possible. You know what I'm saying? This is it's clearly a threat from within. Period. My name is Marcus Russell. This is the Marcus Russell Show. Yo, the site that I'm working at tomorrow requires that we have zero face hair on the bottom of our face. So if you think I look different now, wait till you see me tomorrow. But anyway, Secretary Noem is known for, she wrote an autobiography where she detailed how she had to smoke her own dog for being untrainable and for modeling them green cargo pants when she visited El Salvador with that $50,000 Rolex Cosmograph. Um, but yeah, while she was at eating at a place called Capitol Burger in D.C., there was the vaccine conference that took place with administrations from all over the globe discussing hundreds of thousands of them discussing vaccines. There was the IAPP Global Privacy Summit, which is the one of the world's largest summits, and that's a tech conference with tens of thousands of security tech details and political representation from all over the globe was within 20 feet of her and her family when she was robbed and assaulted by a man with a Pooh Shiesty mask on. A YouTube, if you don't know what a Pooh Shiesty is, it's like a ninja mask in broad daylight and then in front of security detail, and then he somehow escaped into the sunset. Yeah, rumors in DC are saying that it was Pelosi. Yo, let's roll the footage and get right to it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button.
The U.S. Secret Service is facing new scrutiny after Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem became the victim of a brazen robbery. DHS officials say Noem was eating dinner at a D.C. restaurant when a masked thief snatched her purse. Personal items like her keys, her DHS badge, driver's license, and passport were stolen. The bag also contained $3,000 in cash. The suspect hasn't been found, and now there's growing questions about how Secret Service allowed the thief to get so close. You know, Charles, I want to go to you on this because you've brought up the existing crime epidemic in our country already on the show. You know, the big question is this, another case of petty crime, or is there some sort of organized crime, given that it was Kristi Noem? Let's just stick with it being another theft in D.C. D.C. had 4,000 incidents of theft in 2024. I mean, what do you make of this?
No, I think it was just another brazen, random attack, and the confidence that these thieves have in certain areas, right? That A, they'll get away with it, and B, if they get caught, they'll get away with it, right? I mean, it's just it's so brazen and so frightening, and we've already seen a massive flight out of major urban areas because.
Yo, I'm sorry I'm pausing this. I should not have picked this video. There's several videos talking about it, but his suit and his outfit is throwing me off, man. It's like
this is part of the primary reason. And just because it's her, I'm hoping that maybe, and it often doesn't happen, but maybe this will galvanize even more of a sense of urgency that, hey, this is a problem, but I just don't understand how it never really truly gets better. I hear the lip service, but what's happened over the years is they've somehow made the criminals the victims. Right?
Facts.
For instance, if he had a gun, it would have been a gun violence. It wouldn't have been a person with a gun. Guns don't commit violence. People commit violence. There's no such thing as gun crime. There's people versus people crime. You can use a gun, you can use your hands, you can use a rope. So after all of these years,
It's a crime that he don't have no hair on his face. Where's your mustache at, man? I don't trust nobody without no mustache, man.
educating and coddling the criminal behavior, they can't get rid of it.
Well, and Harris, why do you think that is? If you have brazen theft happening like this, I mean, with Secret Service in the room, like how can conservatives leverage this to put in forth, stronger policies to help, kind of quell some of this?
Well, I think they just have to stick with the ones they already have. I have a lot of questions about this. How close was the purse to her? And if somebody can get to the purse, they can get to her. Like, I'm thinking bigger picture now.
It was right under her
She's
seat.
just a regular citizen.
Sure. She's
She's
not.
in charge of the Department of Homeland Security.
Facts.
Keeping our nation safe.
Facts.
And so if her belongings, like a passport, that's important. The cash is one thing. I don't know that can't be replaced in her instance.
Passports, DHS cards.
So, I mean, you talk about access, and the accountability on this is really what I'm concerned with. Yeah, there's random crime. She's not a random person.
That part.
Not at all. And so I want to know, how close was this person, her possession? Did this person who stole it also have access to her? That's what I care about at this point, because we've had 2 assassination attempts on the current president when he was running. And I don't want to broaden this out and get everybody scared when they sleep at night, but I'm kept up at night by, okay, well, who hates the country enough to try something else? I want to get to the bottom of who took it, how close they were. We need more information.
Well, that's the other side of this question, right, Rosanna? Is this a Secret Service failure, or was this just a random incidence of petty theft? But here's the other question, though, too. Is Secret Service only on her? Are they also in charge of protecting her possessions? Say her purse was on the other side of the restaurant.
Well, apparently, I've heard some reports from D.C. reporters who said that her bag was down by her foot.
Under her chair.
So
it was
very
close. It was under her foot.
Wow.
And apparently, according to reports that I've seen in the D.C. area, this man was at another table right nearby and somehow used his foot to somehow swipe that bag underneath her foot, with 2 Secret Service keeping an eye on her. Service are not keeping an eye on everything. I can understand that, Kristi Noem's there with her family, her grandchildren. She was distracted. She probably had her foot not on her bag, but it was by her foot.
Molly, with the 2 incidences, attempts on the president's life, does this make you even more concerned?
Well, I was just thinking, I have all these questions about Kristi Noem, and I would love answers. I'm still waiting for answers from what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. Like, it is just by the grace of God that President Trump was not killed.
Indeed.
We all saw what happened there. And we have not had anywhere near the level of information we need about how that happened, who was involved, what's being done about it. And it really makes you think that there has not been the accountability needed at the Secret Service when you have another incident like this that, just happened under their protection.
Yo, it's not embarrassing to the Secret Service that this happened. It's suspicious. These people in the Trump administration are making historical changes in this country and abroad, and the results have already been fire bombings, riots, protests, and assassinations attempts. Like they said, they've already attempted to unalive President Trump 2 times, 3 times if you count the Simpsons episode, and that one was successful. So what's next for Trump's Avengers? I suggest that they construct like a secret lair somewhere, possibly in a cave or in the side of a mountain, and prepare for the next epic showdown with the dark woke. But everything in our politics is starting to sound like a science like a Marvel movie. You know what I'm saying? The Iceman, he's fighting aliens. AOC and the squad are fighting oligarchies, and the Dems have now been taken over by the dark woke. And if old Joe was still running things, Captain America would still be waiting on permission, a committee approval to throw his shield. And and the Iron Man, he would have spent most of the entire country's budget on updating his smart suit. Praise God, Trumpitos Avengers are not like that. They assemble first and then they ask for permission later. For real. Because The dark woke have been in the shadows working for generations, and Trump knows you don't fight darkness with just a PowerPoint presentation. For real. We're not falling for that this Noem attack was random. There's no such thing as random. We know that these people have been risking their lives also in 4,345,000,000 other possible futures in the multiverse. Only one in one of those realities, President Trump became president and ended up saving us from the dark woke. And that is this reality. And my name is Marcus Russell. This is the Marcus Russell Show. Make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, peace.